right. At 12 o'clock. How was your lunch?
That's good.
Good. They got some sun. It was real nice out there. Needed some sun.
Yeah, vitamin D.
Mm-hmm. Chapter 10.
Chapter 10.
All right.
We are going to apply tools to identify malicious activity. First one that we talk about is going to be Wireshark, because when you talk about any kind of attacks or anything like that, it generally starts out with sniffing. You've got to know what's going through the network. And when I tell, it's like we do SATCOM people and radio guys and different things like that. And the first thing we do is Network Plus.
That's right.
So it's like, why do we have to know networking? It's because 99% of the hacks go through the wires.
That's right.
They're very seldom sitting physically at a machine, hacking that machine. Very seldom.
That's right.
So I said, your devices are not available for physically hacking, but they're going to go through the wires and try to get to them. So that's why you need to know what happens on the wire.
On the wire.
Yeah. And Wireshark is a really good example of what happens on the wire. Everything goes through the wire. So Wireshark is a packet capture tool. You can look at packets, you can look at protocols, you can look at all different kinds of things in there. And I love the data because I found some really good things in the data packets.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah. But as you go through there, you can go and view the various different types of domains that they're hitting. Excuse me. And analyze. You can do follow the IP. You can do all different kinds. There's a whole big huge table above the tabs where you can go and do just all kinds of different types of experiments and data analytics.
Wow.
With TCP dump is a way of getting the Linux version is TCP dump. The Windows version is WinDump. All of these do what's known as a PCAP.
Yep, it's a PCAP capture.
Yep.
Do it from
so
voice.
It's a packet capture, PCAP. And with the PCAP, then you can bring it into Linux, you can bring it into Windows, you can do all kinds of reading with it. You can put it into Wireshark. Let's see. Basic syntax of a command with TCP dump is, it doesn't have it here. No, it does not. Okay, just looking ahead. So you've got TCP dump and then -I for the interface, and then ETH, which represents the interface to listen on. Ethernet. So interface, whatever, Ethernet, or I don't know what it would be for Wi-Fi. It could be Wi-Fi. Utility can be captured packets in the console and write the capture out. Using a W switch, for example, TCP dump, Ethernet 0, interface Ethernet 0, with capture PCAP. Capture PCAP file then can be used with various analysis in Wireshark, NetMiner, NetWitness Investigator, excellent utility, well suited to scripting scenarios, and for hosts with no graphical user interface. In numeric format, and N address and ports numeric. E Ethernet, B BB for verbosity. X is hex, ASCII, S is bytes, W file, R file. Okay. R is generally going to be recursive. Display the contents. Okay.
Cursive.
Recursive. Host, source, destination, net. Packet capture. We use a CIDR notation, which is neat. Port and then protocol. EDR.
Enough for EDR. Here we go.
Solutions
Here we
designed
go.
to provide proactive capabilities on an endpoint.
Correct.
Endpoint detection and response solutions provide real-time and historical visible into a breach, contain malware within a single host, and help facilitate remediation of a host. EDR solutions help answer the question, what happened?
What happened?
What happened? Centralized security monitoring platform, there's endpoint acquisition points, and data analysis. Advantages of EDR solution: detecting malicious activity, improved incident response, proactive prevention, can look for patterns and behaviors indicative of imminent threat. Okay. Risk assessment and incident investigation. Nice.
Very.
With EDR platforms, malware detection, URL filtering, honeypots, monitoring orchestration, and detect emerging threats. That hot out there?
Oh yeah, it was hot.
Oh.
It's getting hot out there. Yeah. 88. Okay. I think all weekend it's gonna be 88. They say.
Nice. Who is? They were thinking about taking Who is down.
I was gonna ask you about that.
They probably, I doubt that they will, because Who is one of the original recon websites. Who is, you can look up a service, an email address, a name, a phone number or IP address. It's helpful in analysis, it's helpful in recon. Internet destinations and businesses registered their domain names for many years.
How does it make you feel to have Who is? I mean, is that, you think that's worth having? Because that seems like, man, I can get anybody's info.
You can get more on Google hacking.
Oh.
Oh yeah, you can get tons more on Google hacking. Who is data is also available directly on from the ICANN. You can look up ICANN.org.
ICANN.org. Okay.
There's Abusal, PDB. It's in the book. Abusal is a very popular website used for analysts to investigate suspicious traffic. The site also provides for API for automation services to integrate with SOAR. Security analysts can use Abusal PDB to identify malicious network traffic and suspicious emails by submitting an IP address to the platform's database search tool. I'm going to use that. Last week I was buying a puppy.
Oh, okay. What kind of dog? What kind?
A little tiny teacup
Yeah.
Yorkie.
Oh wow! I got Jack Russell.
So cute.
How many months? How many months?
He was only 11 weeks.
Oh, beautiful baby. Oh yeah.
Teeny weeny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I paid her, and then she had to ship it because she was in Norfolk.
Oh, okay.
And I started getting all of these text messages.
Oh.
Yeah, with the first was $500. No, $2.99 for the tote for rental of the tote.
Right.
Okay,
Take care of the puppy.
which makes sense. You
Right.
know, it's got to be shipped in something, so I
Cold,
can pay
nice
that, right?
airplane. Yeah. Yeah.
$2.99 was a lot, but you know, I'm like,
Okay.
okay, I could buy one, send it to you for $25.
Right.
So I paid that, and then they needed, vaccinations
Oh,
for
obviously.
him, and then
Gotta
they,
get-
yeah, which makes sense.
Normal, definitely.
And then they wanted this, and then they wanted that,
Oh.
and then $1,999 later,
Oh,
I still did not have a puppy, and I'm
sorry.
like, no,
Oh,
no. So I've got everything for those shippers, I've
Mhm.
got their Google phone numbers, I've got.
I know you do.
I've got IP addresses,
Y'all know
I've
to
got
mess with.
email
Yeah,
addresses,
yeah.
I am gonna just
Yeah.
get them.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about reporting them.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
They don't know what you're messing with.
No, they shouldn't be doing that. They said, the last straw was like $500, no, $900 for this, and I'm like, no,
Wow.
we're done, we're done.
Right.
Cancel this. I said, I told the person, I said, send me my money back for
Yeah.
the dog.
Yeah.
I'm done. $2,500.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm done. I haven't seen anything yet. I'm giving them till Friday.
Okay.
Friday, I am going to.
All right.
I'm going to
Destroy them. Yeah.
file a report
Yeah.
and send the police to her house because I've got her address if it's a good address, and I've got phone numbers and if they're good, they're Googled. So I knew when a shipper, had a Google voice, I'm like, oh,
no.
something's wrong here.
Right. You can't know.
But I wanted to believe that it was true, and for shippers, it would be like, hey, the costs need to be up front.
That's right.
This is what it's gonna cost. And she said, hey, there's gonna be some cost. I didn't expect, to see, hey, it's in transit on hold, out for delivery.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, okay, so out for delivery, delivered to Grady Hospital. And I'm like, to Grady Hospital?
Why would I go to Grady?
What? Yeah. They're not stupid. They know
Right.
how to follow a GPS to here.
Right.
And I'm like, something's wrong. So I called the dog lady in tears. I'm like, what the hell? And I'd accused him of scamming me in the first place, but I'm like, okay, I'll go along with this.
Oh, man.
And so, damn it,
You
I
felt
had this
angry.
little tiny cute little guy.
Yeah, it was beautiful too from the video. You saw the video or photo? What did they send you? A video?
Yeah, video
Okay.
and photo.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's real
Broke
puppy.
my heart, but I'll get one.
Well, they got a couple great places up here. Of course, we got the main side of downtown, which I volunteer at. And I'll tell you, I don't know. You want a purebred, so you want to find a good breeder. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good Yorkie is an expensive dog. That's a pretty.
Yeah, he was only 500.
Okay. Oh yes, gorgeous.
Isn't he cute?
Yeah.
His name is Milo.
Oh wow, you named him Milo?
No, she named him Milo.
okay.
I was just gonna go with it.
Oh really?
Because
Yeah,
it was so
it's
cute.
Too late. You can change the name. If
No,
you
no,
want
no.
to.
I liked Milo.
Oh, okay.
I thought it suited him.
Okay.
He's got kind of an attitude.
Yeah, he do. He do.
Aw.
Oh man, I wish that worked out for you. That's a beautiful
I
dog.
wish I did too, but
Wow,
so
I love my dogs.
now I have to put off paying my bills
Oh no.
and try to figure out how to get by for the next 2 weeks.
Oh no.
So broke my heart. Absolutely broke my heart. I was so expecting him.
Oh, sorry.
I got his little bed. I got
Oh.
a carrier. But those things can keep
Yeah.
until I get my next one. But
Right.
I'll get another one. But,
Yeah.
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 But it just pissed me off that I allowed them to scam me, which I should know better.
I know what
But
you mean.
you do get caught up in it.
We do.
It's an emotional thing. So.
Very emotional.
But I'm going to use abusal.com.
Okay, you gonna use that?
And I'm going to see what I can find out about these crap heads.
And it's called abuser.com.
ABUSELPDB.com.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because they sent me emails. I looked at their website and I'm like, way down at the bottom it says, use this phone number, business phone number, and I'm like, they don't even have the phone numbers in there. I'm like, this is a scam.
Yeah.
You know, for being so smart, you know, how can you be so stupid?
I know what you mean. Believe me. I got scammed by Indians. I know
Yeah,
how they feel.
Cuckoo, and there's Virus Total also. You can go in
Yep.
and 70 anti-malware scanners and domain blocking, block listing services. Virus Total is a good one also. Describing any malicious content. Sandboxing is a great way to be able to analyze malware, any indicators of compromise or anything like that. There's Joe Sandbox, there's Cuckoo Sandbox, there's a sandbox that you can create, very easy to do. Yeah. There's CrowdStrike's hybrid analysis. CuckooSandbox.org, open source malware analysis tool that allows security researchers to analyze and detect advanced malware. I think let me go and download this. I don't have Brave on here. Cuckoo. Cuckoo. SANDBOX.org. Alright.
Yeah, I should take you to Sonic Forge. Where I'm using Source Forge to download it now.
Cuckoo Sandbox?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Source Forge. Yeah.
Zero. Coo.
I just typed it in Google and it took me to the link.
CU.
Yeah, CUC. Yeah, yep. That's what I got. Cool. I'll search for it by typing in CUC. I'm not sure. I
KOO.
thought it was CUCK.
Yeah.
CUCKOO.
Sandbox.org.
Yeah. CUKOO. They got on GitHub as well. Oh, they have a video on as well. Look at that. Install your own malware sandbox. Okay, thank you.
Hey defenders, welcome back. In this video, I want to show you
Thank you.
There it is.
Thank you. Okay, let's save that video. Cool.
malware sandbox.
Gotcha.
Download will start shortly. Show more information.
Okay.
Allow download. Okay.
Alright, cybersecurity. Okay, that's good. Thank you, man. Ooh, got that video to watch.
Thank you for downloading Cuckoo Sandbox. Well, you're welcome. SIEM, enhance your incident detection response capabilities, expanded insights into operational activity. Collection, aggregation, and correlation. Those are what I always say. In a test question, if you see collection, aggregation, correlation,
There we go.
monitoring, it's all SIEM.
That's test question. Yes, ma'am.
Log analysis and activity auditing is significantly increased, yes. Help analysts quickly and efficiently identify suspicious activity. We can all use help.
That's right.
SOAR, automate routine tasks performed by security personnel, analyze alerts by using various techniques defined with playbooks, use APIs, orchestration tools, cyber threat intelligence. They're repeating themselves a lot.
They'll do it.
All right, start phishing runbook. All right, so we've got a condition, and it's filtered into one of three conditions.
Right,
So condition
sub-conditions.
one, action, file repudiation, detonate the file. Okay. Domain repudiation, who is domain, URL repudiation. And then condition three, IP repudiation, who is IP, geolocate IP. Oh, there's that geolocate IP.
I saw that question. We started talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this would go into the run book. What condition? It's condition one. So we go down to condition one. It must be a file that's in trouble. Okay. Identify command line packet capture utility agreements. Lab activities. Woo! There's three. So, you've got two assisted labs.
Okay.
The applied lab are the ones that are kind of a test,
Okay.
just so you know.
I'm a dip. Yeah.
Okay. Using file analysis techniques, analyzing potentially malicious files, and using network snippers. They get to be pretty intense, the applied labs.
Oh, I know. I can tell. I can tell.
Have you seen one?
Yes.
Okay.
And if we get to the end, we run out of time. I noticed one time it said you can't retake it again, but I did close out and came back in. I was able to retake it again, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, because I practiced my PowerShell. And they're like, oh, we run this big old command. Yeah.
Right.
Good.
Do you know the kill chain?
Yes. Not as much, but we had it in our last test.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah, that test.
I mean, it's the steps of basically basic steps of hacking. So there's Rapid7 for SOAR learning resources, Splunk and Palo Alto. What is SOAR?
Okay. Yeah. No, raise response. Come on.
Cyber Kill Chain was created by Lockheed Martin. They
Oh.
thought they had something really good going there, but it was like, whatever.
Oh, really?
Recon is done, then they weaponize something into an email that is exploited by some user.
Uh-huh.
It's installed, now they're part of a C2, and then they can use them to be DDoS attack or something like that.
Gotcha.
Yep, it's the same thing. The MITRE framework, or MITRE, adversarial, TTPs, and common knowledge matrices provide access to database of known tactics, techniques, and procedures. This freely available resource, attack.mitre.org, tags each technique with a unique ID.
Every idea. Okay.
The sequence in which attackers deploy any tactic is not defined. Modified models such as Alien Vault, Sean Malone, blackhat.com. Ooh, I'll have to look that up. In your book,
Yeah.
Sean Malone, blackhat.com, docs 16,
Yep.
US 16 Malone using expanded cyber kill chain model to increase attack resiliency. Once the attackers achieve the initial objective without any being detected, they may either maintain access or seek to remove any trace of their presence, which is anti-forensics.
That's another.
It's also called covering your tracks.
Ah, that's true.
As an alternative to
true.
life cycle analysis described by the kill chain of MITRE, corporations' adversarial techniques, and common knowledge provide access to a database of known tactics, techniques, and procedures. Freely available on attackmitre.org. All right, that's good stuff.
Very good stuff.
There is a Recon, resource development. Acquire infrastructure, compromise accounts, compromise infrastructure, develop capabilities. I'm gonna have to go look at this. Spear phishing attachment leak. Execution, PowerShell, Python, VB, Windows Command Shell. Scheduled tasks. Oh, neat. Oh, they've got cron. Cron is a task scheduler in Linux. So, MITRE ATT&CK Navigator highlighting the TTPs of the threat group APT-29 attributed to Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service. Well, they did all kinds of different types of attacks.
Nice.
Understand the diamond model of intrusion. I don't.
You don't understand? That's
No.
a test question. If I'm
No, but they
I had
don't
exact
say.
question.
Yes, I know. They don't say anything about it though. So I'm gonna
intrusion
read it.
analysis. Yep,
I'm
there
gonna
it
read
is.
it. Okay.
Intrusion analysis.
So, a framework to analyze an intrusion explores the relationships among 4 core categories. All right. Diamond model suggests a framework of intrusion event by exploring the relationships among 4 core adversary features: adversary, capability, infrastructure, and victim. These 4 features are represented by 4 vertices of the diamond shape. These 4 features are represented by 4 vertices. Okay. Each event may also be described by the meta features: date, time, kill chain, result, and so on, which confidence level is C, indicating data accuracy or the reliability on conclusion and assumption assigned by the value of the analysis, which is nothing. Each event is defined by tuples. In addition, it's the columns in a database. Additional information about each feature can be nested. Okay, so adversary C, capability C, infrastructure C, E equals adversary, capability, infrastructure, and victim. Okay, the IP address support the process and the timestamp. Okay, in this model, the power of the model lies, please tell me, in the ability to pivot along the vertices of the diamond to produce a complete analysis and correlation of the IOCs that represent the event. Okay. Adversary. This element represents individual group responsible for the intrusion. Infrastructure refers to the tools and resources used by the adversary to carry it out. Capability describes the technical skills and aptitude of the adversary. Okay. And victim describes the organization or individual. And, okay, here we go. By analyzing the 4, is it in here? No, it's not, but it is here in the book. Okay. By analyzing 4 elements, security analysts can better understand the TTPs used by the adversary to develop effective strategies to defend against future intrusions. Additionally, Diamond Model can identify patterns or trends to help organizations improve their cybersecurity posture. Events can be linked into attack graphs and activity threads graphed along each vertex, representing the paths that the adversary could take. Mm-hmm. All right, so we got recon 1 to 2. Okay, so we got weaponization to delivery. Down, installation, okay, while the diamond metal is difficult to apply to manual pen and paper, it has been used to develop automated threat intelligence and analysis engines, which are integrated into SIEM platforms. Well, great. Because to me, it doesn't make sense. We come, okay, so we're a victim and we go up to capability, okay? Well, they've done malware. Now we go over to the infrastructure and it says C2 domain resolves the C2 address. Okay, big deal. Now we know it's a C2. What do? Oh, we go to the firewall. Logs further victims, see, and then how in the world do we go up to adversary? So we go here, here, and then here. I kind of see that, but then all of a sudden we're going up here.
Yeah, that's what it's showing.
What? Yeah, well,
It's showing.
you know, Sergio and Christopher and Andrew, you'd have to prove it to me. I just,
Okay.
I don't see it. Okay. Comprehensive guide to security testing, set of procedures for managing operational security can be downloaded from, this is open source security testing methodology manual,
Gotcha.
isecom.org.
Yep, dot 3. Yeah.
Does it go out? Is it a hyperlink?
Yeah, it's hyperlink.
No.
Yes, it's allow.
Okay, there
And
it
it
goes.
opens it up.
Oh,
There it
look
is.
at the hummingbird.
I know, right?
Aw,
The PDF download.
well, that's kind of cool.
Man, I like Brave. Brave looks pretty good. This Brave browser is good.
Yeah, I like it too. Alright. What is the second phase of cyber kill chain weaponization? This model defines a framework to analyze an intrusion event by exploring the relationships between the diamond model of
That's a
intrusion
diamond.
analysis.
Yep, we did it.
This framework provides a database of
MITRE.
nitrate.
Miter. Yeah.
Recipient addresses. I'd love to actually go through and look at the headers on emails.
You do?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I was getting an email one time, and it was from not Facebook but Facebook,
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm like, oh no, no. I finally got so tired of getting them. I'm like, no, and so I went and I looked at the header and I started spamming them back, their messages.
What they
It
doing?
stopped.
Stop?
Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay.
They realize.
I was in Security Plus and I'm like, oh man, you know, I just, you don't even want to see it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is just not okay. And so my Security Plus guy says, what are you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
I'm like, I'll take care of them tonight.
I heard that.
Details of servers handling the messages transmission. Check the sender is authorized for the domain. Headers aren't exposed to the user by most email applications. Can be difficult to identify where each part begins and ends. You've got your MX Toolbox and MX Toolbox email headers, ASPX. Okay, so do we do this? No, we do not do this. But the blue. Okay, so in the header you've got the display, the from field. From. It says from friendly guy. I'm going to use foo a lot. ISP.foo.
Okay.
My friendly guy at ISP.foo. The envelope from is a return address. Ooh. And mail from SMTP. SMTP server is the receive server, so you can't get the exchange server address because it's inside. But you can get the SMTP server.
Okay.
Received from by the MTAs that process the email. Each MTA identifies itself in the server that sent the message. If the adversary is spoofing a domain, the true origin of the message is likely to be revealed by examining this list of servers. When starting a session with another SMTP server, the server identifies itself using hello or hello. Yep. Okay. Headers aren't exposed to the user because you can view copy headers from mail message. We used to use Mail Marshal, and Mail Marshal allowed you to go in and just take an email apart.
Oh, wow.
It was very cool. Yeah. Okay. So does it have a malicious payload in there? And we know because of the contents. Payloads are the contents of that packet. So is it an exploit? Is there an attachment in there? What's in there? The message contains scripts or objects that target some vulnerabilities. You know that the fileless attacks now, the fileless malware.
Yeah, file server malware.
With the basically just a one-line script that you get through like an email attachment or something like that. And then it will use PowerShell on your machine to build that.
Wow.
It's called fileless malware.
Yes.
Living
Yes.
off the land.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're so cool.
I can live. Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, what they don't think of.
Right.
Embedded links, slightly less likely to open suspicious attachments unless you're in a sandbox. Even if the user trusts the communication, they should still locate the site referred to manually. There you go. FireEye blog, threat research 2019, breaking the rules through Outlook. From home. Email signature block. A missing or poorly formatted email signature block is an indicator of phishing. Conversely, spear phishing might have obtained a sample of the company's signature block. Yep. Malicious attachments. When investigating email attachments, it's crucial to obtain a hash of the attachment. Comparing the hash to no malicious file hashes clearly identifies a match. Guess what I'm going to be doing when you leave today? I'm going to be exploring those email and those attachments.
I heard that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. SPF Sender Policy Framework. DNS text record identifies the host authorized to send emails for a domain. Emails commonly send from different domains for like marketing, different things like that. Because they have a marketing department, they'll send it from a different email service. DKIM, SPF, so, okay. Instructions from email originating from a location not in the record. Text.com-to-you, okay, text come to you. That's the DNS, global settings, header, query, no errors, okay. Come-to-you.com. SPF, protectionoutlook.com. Server and size. Reject them all. Flag them tilde all. Accept them plus all. You can make a decision. Misconfigured email servers are common. Okay. Third-party tools are used for customer feedback and satisfaction surveys without including them in their public SPF records. Strictly enforced SPF checking often frustrates users.
Okay.
Who cares? Right? The sender IP information needs to be analyzed using tools such as Abusal PDB to determine trustworthiness. DKIM and SPF help in identifying phishing, spam, all kinds of things. This is MX Toolbox. Sorry. DMARC. DMARC is domain-based message authentication reporting and conformance. So it looks like we are sending Organization publishes SPF, DKIM, and DMARC records to DNS server. Good job. It then goes out to sender. MTA forwards the message with DKIM and SPF header. Goes to the adversary spoofed sender's domain. Recipient MTA processes the message. If it is not legitimate, recipient looks up the sender DMARC policy, SPF, DKIM records via DNS, or it goes over to legitimate message placed in recipient's mailbox, okay, or rejected message deleted or quarantined. Failure reporting to sender MTA. Failed
Got
to
it.
send. Cousin domains. SPF, DKIM, and DMARC do not solve the problem of cousin or lookalike domains. There are domains names and name parts that closely resemble their organization's real domain. Phishers will also exploit the fact that many organizations use hosted email services. Yep, especially for business tasks like Gmail, marketing, customer service, support ticketing. When official emails arrive from domains such as support@realcompany.serviceprovider.foo, it makes it much easier for a phisher to succeed with the impersonation attack using an email address like support@realcompany.serviceprovider.foo or real company's SRVICE provider.
Good point.
.foo, yeah. They misspell something. I've seen processes misspelled like SCV,
Oh, yeah?
host, SVC, host.
Haha.
Hopefully you're not looking at this. And in Linux, we've got SSH, which is our shell.
Yep.
Everything floats along in that bubble. wget is to interact with the web server. Curl is to go in and interact with the curl. It's craft URL. Telnet, clear text protocol, remotely access the server or the router. FTP, clear text protocol, used for perform file transfer. ARP, get a physical address, and SS, physical address. IP or ifconfig. Ifconfig is, so IP and ifconfig, IF configuration or IP configuration. Who am I? Identify who you are. And then netstat, network activity, particular IP activity addresses. They don't use nmap, which is weird.
Yeah, very weird, isn't it?
In Windows, netstat, ping, ipconfig, nslookup, task list of all the processes running on a system. Net, oh, I love the net commands. I've used them for years.
Oh, wow.
NetSH, WMIC for the Windows management and instrumentation. Okay. Invoke, PowerShell, invoke request. I love that. Invoke. Sounds like invoke. Download string to download information from web servers such as malicious script or payload. Start process starts a new process, often to load malware or rogue process. Get WMIO object and then get process. Display the processes configured on the server. Reverse shell commands used in attacks. Netcat listener. They're going to put it onto 8181.
Port 81, okay.
Bash shells and Python. Export R host, remote host, I guess. Export R port 8181. Python C import socket. Oh gosh. Why would you use Python?
Why is it that?
Look at all that compared to a bash shell or even netcat listener. They're saying the same
That's
thing
ports.
that netcat said.
I see what you're saying. That's right. I always
Abnormal account activity. A user account with set working hours being used during the night. Yeah, they're not going to do that. User account made for desktop computers being used on a server. Okay. A new user account created on a local computer. A new account created by a user without authorization to create accounts. Yeah, how can you do that? A user account added to a group unexpectedly or added by an unauthorized individual. All right, those are kind of common sense.
Yeah.
Abnormal behavior and patterns, communication between a device and remote host every 2 minutes. That sounds like a CNC.
They do.
Abnormal protocol activity such as gigabits, gigabytes on DNS traffic. Okay. Ping requests that do not receive response or have unusual packet sizes. An indicator that has become more frequent with the adoption of remote work and cloud computing is impossible travel time. An example of this would be a user account logging in from an IP address located in New York and logging in 15 minutes later from Brussels.
That's right. Saw a test question like that.
Mm-hmm. Evidence of C2 traffic, encoded communications. User received an email with suspicious link, visited the site, launched an executable, and established a connection to a system on the internet. Users, I could just
Beat 'em up.
outside the head, you
Yeah.
know? It's like, what were you thinking?
That's right.
Oh, wait, you weren't. That's right. User and entity behavior analytics. Identify malicious behaviors with comparison to a baseline. Track user account behavior across devices or cloud services, and dependent on AI and machine learning.
Mhm.
There's another applied lab.
Okay.
You getting tested again.
All right, won't get tested.
You get tested.
Describe. Okay.
Got a couple of good tools in there.
I love them. Yeah.
This executable file may contain viruses. Do you want to go? Yeah. It's on my machine. Suricata. Evidently, it is a little animal and it looks like a groundhog
Oh wow.
in Africa.
Oh.
That's what came up here too.
Fascinating.
Cuckoo. Alright, let's see. What? Ransomware found? Oh crap. Ransomware 32 server. Severe. Well, we can just reimage this machine. We're done anyway, so not a big deal.
That's what it said?
Yeah, it's saying threat and protection, says ransomware found.
Mm.
This is Defender. Quick scan. That Suricata
Uh-huh.
looked like it had a bad,
That program.
maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's running a scan now. It doesn't look like it's finding anything. I just don't want it to go anywhere.
Outstanding. What an example right there. You just showed the mitigation step just now. Yeah. That's how we gotta do it. Oh wow. Okay. Outstanding. Oh yes. Okay. Let's do that. Let's go back to the book. That's what said that.
Oh, good. Guess what? I'll bring in my my screwdriver tomorrow.
All right.
Not just here. It was just delivered. Can you imagine a girl getting excited over a screwdriver?
Oh, I can. Wow, that is amazing. I'm trying Virus Total, and I'm running these programs I've downloaded. I'm uploading it to this Virus Total, getting this wonderful, different crowdsource. This is nice. It's telling us this program, Suricata is good. No security vendors, no sandbox flagged. This as malicious, so hasn't been flagged with as malicious.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I'll put that on my machine.
Like Virus Total. Wow. Okay, so I can run this thing. All right. So
Yeah, nothing was found. Do you have dogs?
Yes, I have two Jack Russell Terriers.
Oh, okay.
Simba, Miss Lola Bella.
Simba.
Yeah, Mr. Simba. Sorry, Mr. Simba. Lion King and Miss Lola Bella.
Yeah.
They're like 5-year-olds. Oh, where's my photo? Shoot. Oh yeah, they're my babies right there.
Oh.
Well, I can see them. But yeah,
Cute.
they're off
They're
the chain.
smiling.
Oh, they always.
Oh my gosh.
I love
Oh my
them. I gotta
gosh.
keep them happy, you know.
They're so fun.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I got video on YouTube trying to build my little channel
Yeah.
for my dog. A lot of people have channels, millions of subscribers,
Mhm.
and I'm like, okay, I gotta
You get
document.
millions of dollars.
I know, because people love dogs. They love watching dogs
Yeah, they do.
for hours and hours and hours. And yeah, it's a blessing. I want a big dog, but I got tiny ones though.
I gotta have a little one. He's gonna
Yeah.
travel with me.
Yeah, I understand. I do.
And I'm really up until just recently. I'm like, no, no. And then all of a sudden it was like, it's time.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's time.
yeah.
I really would like somebody to come home to.
Mm-hmm. So Suricata is like a C, just like a command line interface. Okay. Opens up C windows on the command line. Run engine, default configuration, internet, program call Suricata. That's beautiful. Okay. Can I install RDF? Security. There it is. How to Windows. Quick start grind. There we go. The direction says that you got to install npcap first before you can run Suricata.
Okay.
Yeah. So install that now. Thought I had that installed. Yeah, I thought I had that installed. watching a cuckoo video. I'm watching a cuckoo video. So
The what?
I'm watching a cuckoo. The
Oh,
cuckoo.
are ya?
I'm here for the next couple hours, so are we done? Are we done? Oh, okay.
Yes, sir, we're done.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you don't have to stay. if you don't.
Oh, I'm not. I want to. I love this privacy. Just leave.
Something that's malicious and we need to investigate further, or is this potentially a false positive? So again, a few key points on why sandbox environments are really nice to have. We can run malware just be aware we will be working with a virtual environment, so that'll using Python to do so. All right, that looks good. So now we'll go ahead and get into installing the packages that are required to get this up and running. So again, I'll just go line by line, and I'll skip ahead so I'm not wasting too much video time. And now we've got to the VirtualBox installation command. So again, as I mentioned, I will be using VirtualBox for my virtualization environment. You could also use Linux's KVM, the virtualization that comes bundled with the kernel. However, I like to use VirtualBox because we can use another tool called VMcloak to dynamically spin up VMs and tear down VMs when we're not doing any analysis, and that'll become more clear as we get into it. Go ahead and install VirtualBox. This command here. Then we're going to install TCP dump and AppArmor utils. TCP dump is probably already installed. I'm just going to include it in this command anyways, just because I'm lazy. And alright, so we got VirtualBox installed, so I'll install TCP dump,
in my car real quick.
Oh no, I'm good.
So if
Appreciate it.
there's
Thank
ever
you.
any
Thank you.
problems with this, it's
No
really
problem.
easy
Thank you.
to just tear down and start over again with a new virtual environment. Alright, so now that's complete, let's go ahead and install Cuckoo in our virtual environment here. And it's as easy as just running a pip install, which is nice. So an installation for once we kind of get our environment all set up, actually installing Cuckoo is relatively easy. And again, since we specified to create this virtual environment with Python 2.7, all of our pip commands, as you can see, are using Python 2.7 to actually install. Alright, so now that we have that installed, so now pretty much our environment is set up and ready to go. However, what we still need to do is download our ISO for our Sandbox VM. So we're going to download a Windows 7 ISO that Cuckoo actually provides on their website. And we're going to use this ISO to, when we want to analyze some malware, we're going to kick up our VM, right? And that VM is going to have an image of Windows 7. So we're going to go ahead and do a wget, and you can do this within your virtual environment, that's fine. So we'll go ahead and grab the ISO file. It is a few gigs in size, yeah, it's about just over 3 gigs, so this may take a little while depending on your network bandwidth. Alright, so now that we got that downloaded, I'm going to create a directory that I'm going to mount this ISO to. So go ahead and create that directory. I will then change the ownership
Funny
of
is that
that
Cisco Voice
directory
Engineer
to,
doing the same thing.
actually my
Doing ISOs. It's the same thing. The only
user.
difference is I'm in the world of Cisco
Again, this would
Voice
be whatever
and he's over here in security, but we're doing the same goddamn
run
thing.
Cuckoo.
Got to learn the firewall. You gotta learn
Change
VMware.
ownership of that, and
Gotta
now
learn
we're
VMware.
going to mount
Mountain
that
ISOs,
to
bless God.
this directory.
Mountain
Just
ISOs.
that command here. And now let's get into the vmcloak install process. So what vmcloak will allow us to do is to only, because the ISO, downloading the ISO and spinning up the VM can be a long process, we want to make that quick and fast. And what vmcloak allows us to do is to take snapshots of a VM that, so we don't have to go through this whole process every time we want to kick off a sandbox interaction, right? We'll just load these
Oh, I can't wait to
snapshotted
watch what I can
create process. So now it'll be a lot
man.
faster once we want to run a process. So go ahead and grab these installed dependencies. These needed dependencies, they're probably already installed, although there may be a few that we missed. So go ahead and just make sure we have everything, so that all looks good. And now let's go ahead and install vmcloak with just a pip install as well. And alright, so now we have vmcloak installed, and this will also allow us to interact with VirtualBox within a headless environment. So again, if you have any previous experience with VirtualBox, you've probably done it with
Yes.
VirtualBox's GUI, but since we don't have the desktop version of Ubuntu here, we just have the server version, we of course don't have a desktop GUI, so we'll need to interact with VirtualBox via our command line here, and vmcloak also allows us to do that. So this command here, we're going to be able, we're creating a virtual network that our sandbox environment will run within. So we're going to do that with this command here, and you should see some output here, and then you should see interface was successfully created. If you're seeing any errors, just make sure that your user is allowed to interact with VirtualBox. And now we're going to set the specs around our VM that we're going to be running our malware within. So here you can see a few tags. So CPU, so how many CPUs do we want to give this VM? Again, this is borrowing resources from your host VM. So on this guy, I have a 4-core CPU. I only have 2 gigs of RAM, so I don't have much available.
As the thermal drone is airborne, you will be monitoring surveillance live using a wireless Teradek array system, so we can actively view what the drone is seeing.
Resources to dedicate to my lab environment. So
still got that button. You still got that. Hold on.
Enter, and this will probably take a while depending on how beefy your box is. Mine is
Oh.
not very big, so
Got it.
this is gonna take a while for mine to spawn stuff ahead. While you're waiting on this, check out some other videos. Once that
He's
completes,
smart. Check out the videos. As you said, made millions of dollars on YouTube.
add this image
Right about that. Millions of dollars on YouTube.
so that looks good. Now we are going to mark this
Got that
image so
right.
that we'll be able to create a snapshot out of it. Run that with this should run a little faster. We can previously and the day take a while. And alright, so now that we have that done, we have our VM clone now. Now it's time to install the software that we want to be bundled with our Windows image. So if we run this command here, the VM clone list steps, this will list out all of the software that we can actually bundle with our Windows OS. We have Internet Explorer, version 11, Flash, Firefox, Edge, Chrome, .NET. There's a ton of Adobe. You can install Office as well. There's a ton of software that we can bring into our Windows image, which is really nice because different malware will try to exploit different software, and so we would like to bundle it with as much as possible so we get a good kind of representation of a legitimate system on our network. But in this demo, I'm just going to install.
I won't keep you too long. I'll let you go home because I know it's
No, I'm
Wednesday.
not going. I don't go until 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
So don't worry about that.
Oh, good, good.
Just bundle it with IE11. And if you want to add more software, you would just do a space IE11. So I would run the same. If I run that same command, I would just do space like Java 7 space Adobe Annex or meaning packages you want to for whatever software you want to bring in as well. So we got this running. This will probably
That little thing you said comes with even screws down to this small, even tiny screwdrivers too.
Probably.
That's what you own.
Yeah, let's see. I'll bring it in tomorrow.
Okay. I order one of those.
And it'll zzz.
Wow.
Is yours loose?
Yeah.
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 the name of the interface. So again, that'll reflect what we see here, ENS 160. So that looks good. And if you want to make these persistent across like a reboot, you can always edit the sysctl.com. So you can add those same commands. You would strip out the sudo should see now starting Cuckoo Router.
It's my hope
Okay,
to
so
be able
that
to be
looks
like
good.
him, to do my videos,
Let's
make
go
my
ahead
channel
now
up. I've
and
got about
add our
30 videos so far, but
and make our configuration tweaks within the Cuckoo conf file. So if we jump into Cuckoo here, I'll cd into their conf directory. And in this demo, we're going to focus on the routing.conf and the virtualbox.conf. If you went through if your virtualization software that you're using is going to be KVM, then you would just jump into that file here. So let's go ahead and jump into the virtualbox.conf. And here you'll see our machine. So this is telling Cuckoo, hey Cuckoo, when I want you to run an analysis, I want you to run on the VMs that I have cloned already. And we went through that step with all of our VM clone commands. So what we'll need to do is to specify that within Cuckoo. And we're also, the mode we're using is a headless version of VirtualBox. We're not using the GUI version because this is a server image, so we don't have a desktop GUI. So you can make these changes manually. However, there is a little while script that we can run through that will list out your VMs and then add them for you. So if we just copy, paste that there, it will take the VMs that we created and add them to our conf file for us. So now, if I open this guy back up, you see the virtual machine that we cloned, right, that we saw. And if we list it out, if we do a VM book list, we'll see that there as well. So we're telling Cuckoo, hey Cuckoo, I want you to use this machine. And if you have more than one VM that you've cloned, those will be added as well. So I'll go ahead and remove this Cuckoo one so it doesn't exist anymore. That is the only problem with this Cuckoo machine command that we use here. It doesn't remove the Cuckoo one, so you'll have to do that manually, but it has added our config block for us. It has added the machine VM for us. So that's good. And now you can see we need to remove actually this Cuckoo one full block. So all of these configurations below will go into this Cuckoo one.
hope you're okay.
Which
God bless you.
never gave it that name.
The screw drop.
And we're on the wrong side pipe. Man.
That actually did for us was create this block here. So now this is the name of the VM that we want Cuckoo to use when it runs. It does a label, the platform is Windows, the IP address is this .101, which is what we assigned it earlier. So all this should be pre-populated for you. And that all looks good. So exit and save that. So that looks good. The last thing before we kick this off is let's jump into our routing.conf. So again, depending on the route that you want to use, again, I'm going to use the internet. Again, this reflects back to what our routing options are here. So I'll find the internet block here, which is just right here, and this will be the name of the interface that is on the host VM. So in our case, that's ENS 160. So I will save that, and then actually the last thing we The cool
true.
thing about Cuckoo is we can do text files, we can do EXEs, DLLs, we can even do zips, which is nice. So Cuckoo will unzip all the contents within the zip folder and run those as well. So I'm just going to grab their zip folder that they have, and now that that's downloaded, we will just go ahead and upload this guy to Cuckoo. So it's as easy as just dragging and dropping it into here, and this will bring us to our next screen where we can where we will configure our analysis. So here you can see it's already actually unzipped the contents of the folder. So we can select if this has multiple files within it. We can individually select which ones we want to run. So I'm going to select this guy here. Again, we will now go to our network routing. So if you've enabled some of the other routing options, those will be available for you to select here. However, we just enabled the internet one. We'll then scroll down. So we have the timeouts that you can set. There are some other few advanced options. We just went with the basic install of Cuckoo, but they also support some other features that are pretty cool, such as this guac D one. This guac D will actually allow you to interact with the VM as it's doing its analysis. So maybe if you want to do something manual within the VM as it's doing its analysis, that tool will enable you to do that. It is a few other dependencies, so you can link to their documentation that they have here to get that installed. Maybe I'll make that a future video as well, just because it is something that's cool and nice to have. But it's just a little out of scope for this one. I just want to get you guys kind of up and running and familiar with Cuckoo first. So that looks good. And then down here on our machines, you can leave it at default. If you have more than one VM that you took a snapshot of, those should all be listed here. So you can run it on an individual machine basis, or this default one will just select the one that is available to run an analysis on. And that's it. So you make your few option changes. We'll click Analyze. And here, if we go back into Cuckoo here, we should see it start to spin up. Sure enough, it does. So starting analysis of the zip archive. We see that it's starting analysis. I've done a few analysis already, so this is number 4. For you guys, it'll be your first one. You'll see that it picks up the ID of the VM that it's going to run this on, and then it knows its IP address of our 192.168.1, and that is the virtual network that's running within VirtualBox. And here we see that it has started to kick off the analysis and is running this iCar file within our Windows VM sandbox environment that it's currently running in. It'll queue up analysis as well. So if you want to start another analysis immediately, you can go ahead and do so, and it will queue it up. Or if you have more than one VMs, it'll select the next available VM to run this analysis on. So you can do multiple analysis all at once, which is nice as well. So we'll wait for this to finish, and then we should see some results. And here on our dashboard, you also see that it is running one job. And once this is finished, it will generate a report for us. You can see all of the details around, what this file was doing, what signatures did it flag on, what network connections were made, and so on. Right, and now that that has finished, if we go into the recent here, we will see our report. And you can select either of these guys. I'll just select the date here. And here, Cuckoo now generates a nice report for us to be able to see exactly what was going on. So here we see the score, so it's given it a 3 out of 2 out of 10. So it has detected malicious behavior. And again, we just gave it this iCar test file. So it is detecting on what we expected it to test on. And then you'll be able to look at all these signatures. So by default, it looks like Internet Explorer, when it launches, is trying to grab various certs and data from Microsoft and Bing's. We can also, on the left-hand side here, you will also see these other kind of categories that we can go to. So, like, what's the behavior that's being done? So here you can see it's using the Internet Explorer executable to actually launch this. Which, granted, this is just a text file, so it's not going to be doing anything
x6, man, I just had an x6. I gotta get a new one. I gotta get a new one. I gotta get it.